everybody, Jay Super Awesome here. I'd like to welcome you all to week number 15 of the Horror Man Slashback Saturday Challenge. This week's slasher movie theme is Medical Slasher, and I will be giving my review for The Surgeon. Okay, so getting into the plot for this one. Behind the face mask and under the hospital gown breathes a doctor whose genius makes him a monster. He took an oath to cure, but a twisted plan of revenge turns a local hospital into a laboratory of human guinea pigs. The blood-curdling squeals and screams will stop your heart as he drains their brains, executing his master operation, the surgeon. He's got a killer bedside manner. First Jason, then Freddy, finally a professional. Okay, so getting into my thoughts for this one. The Surgeon is a pretty decent slasher film from the 1990s. It seemed to have good production values as it was shot and filmed very well. Now, I did not do any research to see what the budget was for this movie. I'm just going off of my general thoughts and impressions of the film as I was watching it. And I thought it looked like a pretty solid B movie from the 90s. Also, we get a lot of really good locations in this movie. We have a really awesome hospital setting where most of the movie takes place, but we also do get sort of a mental institution where they hold violent patients. And the movie also opens up in the past, and we see a little bit of the origin, the beginnings of the surgeon character. We see him as a young child, and we see the events that happen that kind of set him in motion to become what he grows up to be. So, The Surgeon is a slasher film that I have pretty much always known about. I watched it when it was originally released, and I remember liking it way back then. I seen it maybe sometime again in the 90s, but I actually have not watched it in a really long time. So I was actually happy to get to check this one out again for this challenge, as it is perfect for a medical slasher. Okay, so getting into the cast of characters we have in The Surgeon. The Surgeon is absolutely loaded with familiar faces. If you have seen horror films from the 1970s all the way up to current time, the chances are you're going to recognize some of these familiar faces. Even some of these actors were even in more popular films that were not horror related. So there's a good possibility you're going to recognize a lot of people in this movie. And it was just really awesome to see these actors all assembled together and just kind of doing their own thing. It was just really cool to be able to watch. So basically the type of characters we have in this movie are doctors, medical staff, we have patients, and we have the police doing their investigation. So with having these type of characters, this slasher movie has a little bit of a different feel to it, as it is a medical slasher set inside a hospital for the most part. I actually kind of compare this movie a little bit to Dr. Giggles, as they was released around the same time period. But this one takes itself a little bit more serious than Dr. Giggles, which actually had more of a sense of humor. I compare this one more to X-Ray, as that movie had more of a serious feel to it. So I compare this one a little bit more to X-Ray. So our main character, she is also a doctor, and she is very serious about her job and her profession. She is definitely by the book. She really cares about her patients, and so much so that she also cares about other patients in the hospital. So she's kind of looking over other doctors' shoulders to make sure they are doing things the correct way. And she was a really strong character, and she does have sort of a checkered past with our surgeon character. Okay, so getting into the most important part of a slasher movie, and that is the killer. I really liked the killer in this movie. I thought the actor did a great job of portraying a evil surgeon. The movie started off in the past, and we seen him as a young child, and we witnessed the tragic events that kind of set him in motion. Even as an adult, another event that happened that kind of pushed him over the edge to become evil, basically. I do not think that he was originally evil. I believe he originally had good intentions. He was working on a formula, basically like a serum, and if you kind of think about it, that'll put you in mind of Reanimator, but this does not reanimate the dead. If you inject it as he uses it in the movie, he kind of cures his weaknesses or his wounds. At one part, it was mentioned he had actually been crippled from waist down. Well, he gets this serum and he's able to heal himself. So he has this healing serum that kind of regenerates his body. And I think that's really cool. That is something that they were thinking of that was really creative that could have actually set up more sequels if this movie was successful. I thought that was really cool. Unfortunately, he needs some victims to be able to abstract this serum, and that's where the evilness comes into play. So one thing I'm going to say as a negative about the surgeon character is that if you look at the DVD cover, you see sort of a image of the surgeon with sort of some skeletal features showing, so basically suggesting that some wounds have occurred, and it kind of looks really cool. I really wanted that in this movie. I wanted to see a creepy looking version of the surgeon and the surgical outfit and everything. Now, he does receive a little bit of facial wounds from some acid, but it basically looks just like some skin irritation and a little bit of burning, and that's pretty much all we get from that point of view. I find that to be a little bit disappointing. One more negative thing about the movie is that it has a 100-minute runtime, and it feels longer than that. I'm not sure when it happens, but at some point in this movie, it hits a dead spot. I'm not sure when, but it just does. And I have always felt that way about this movie. Now, this is one that I do enjoy, but it does feel a little bit long. Okay, so now getting into the kills we have in The Surgeon. In my opinion, we have two really standout kills in this movie, and then the rest are just average. And then we do have some off-screen kills. Now, speaking on the off-screen kills, there is at least some decent suspense that builds these kills up. And that's another good thing about the surgeon character, as he's able to sneak and stalk around the hospital without being noticed. And he's able to creep around and crawl through vents. He knows the hospital very well, so he's able to move around undetected most of the time. So at least the off-screen kills, a lot of them do at least have good suspense that builds them up. So that's about all I'm going to be able to say about The Surgeon. I recommend it for slasher movie fans. Now, it's not really for the most hardcore. It don't have a lot of gore, but it is pretty solid. So I'm going to give this one a 7 out of 10. And this is one that I recommend. Please like, subscribe, comment below, and you guys let me know what you guys think about my video. And I would like to thank you for watching.